It is Ahsoka Tano Thursday morning. Come, let us meditate like a Jedi. This morning we're going to play with the latest iteration of very easy meditation. Let us begin with the first of four phases of mindful crease counting. The luxury car of mindfulness and meditation. Oh, let's try this again. The luxury electric vehicle. Aha, that's an interesting spelling. Would you not agree? The luxury electric vehicle of mindfulness and meditation traverses the smooth road afforded to us by Anu Yoga's energy work. There are many flavors of energy work. I find that mudra or finger gesture oriented energy work is the most efficient. So we're now perched on the precipice of gathering our first of four collections of 144 repetitions, also known as our right hand's 12 repetitions and our left hand's 12 sets. Over the span of 12 inhalations, we could advance our right thumb thusly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. To multiply that by 12, we enlist the aid of our left hand. Counting not repetitions, but sets of repetitions. 1, 2, 3, sets of 12 repetitions. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 sets of 12 repetitions. How do we keep track of our first of four collections? By resting the great knuckle at the base of our right little finger upon the tip of our left little finger, palms up in our lap. Working with these little fingers invites our subtle energies to coalesce in the bladder region of our lower abdomen. Now that we know how the fingers work, what do we do with our mind? What if enlightenment was simply the mastery of the Buddha's Eightfold Path? No infant is born knowing how to use the toilet or the toothbrush or the shoes or the bike. However, after much time and effort and instruction, they get so good at using the toilet or brushing their teeth or tying their shoes or riding a bike that they're able to do that spontaneously, habitually, easily, and effectively. That, my friends, is mastery. We can also master the Buddha's Eightfold Path. But here's something wild. The seventh fold of the Eightfold Path is mindfulness. The eighth fold of the Eightfold Path is meditation. Practice these two things and you'll observe this remaining six folds of the Eightfold Path taking care of themselves. So I guess it makes perfect sense for us to turn our attention now to the proper practice of mindfulness and meditation. So let's explore the neuroscience of mindfulness and meditation after approximately 30 seconds of housekeeping. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. For more than 30 years, I spent about 8 hours a day, almost every day, studying, practicing, mastering, and reverse engineering the teachings and techniques of each school of meditation so that you would not have to. Welcome, my friends, to Meditate Like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. Sturgeon's Law reminds us that 90% of everything sucks. You see, since the Neolithic Revolution, most of us have been conditioned to be rigid, fearful, superstitious, controlling, elitist, cryptic, competitive, and cruel, to the point of mocking those who strive to be the opposite, who strive to be flexible, loving, rational, laid back, egalitarian, lucid, cooperative, and kind, even though the Buddha is said to have mastered these traits. So when someone who is rigid tries to teach others meditation, what they wind up doing is imploring folks to actively focus and actively analyze. Now, the only part of our brain that can perform these tasks are the discrete neural pathways found in regions such as the medial prefrontal cortex and the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. Overtrain this region and you trigger the almond-shaped amygdala, which is the seat of both anxiety and aggression. So how darkly ironic is this? One decides they want more peace and love, and then they set off on a course of action that takes them in the opposite direction. Fortunately, the prefrontal cortex, neither the prefrontal cortex nor the amygdala compose the entirety of the central nervous system. Allow me to illustrate. When it comes to mindfulness, every time we inhale, we involuntarily access the sympathetic nervous system ensconced within the middle third of our spinal cord. This bad boy has evolved to help us notice in a very particular way. It has evolved to help us notice vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly. But notice what? Notice mind's antics of perception. Seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, smelling, and the like, such as emotion, intention, cognition, recollection, and imagination. Now, this seems kind of difficult. Is there an easy way to do this? Yes. Simply, silently, and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during each inhalation. And not only will you notice mind's antics, but you do it in a way that enlists the cooperation of the brain. So the brain, instead of opposing this sympathetic nervous system, will cooperate with it. But what are we to do with all these things that we notice? Enter meditation. Every time we exhale, whether we know it or not, we wind up, let's try that. Every time we exhale, whether we know it or not, we access our parasympathetic nervous system divided by the lower third and the upper third of the same spinal cord. The parasympathetic nervous system has evolved to support both physical relaxation as well as mental release, to the point of us releasing, to the point of that which we perceive during our previous inhalation, fleetingly feeling rather impermanent, so impermanent, that it begins to feel as non-graspable as a vast empty void. Now, ask an English teacher, they'll tell you the key to a truly powerful simile is relatability. So we need a real world. We have to ask, what is a real world example of a non-graspable vast empty void? How about the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, which, although could be tantalizing to the eye, is intangible to the hand? So there you have it. So the silent and mental recitation of the demonstrative pronoun this during our inhalation is the key to mindfulness. The silent and mental recitation of the one-syllable verb ease during our exhalation is the key to meditation. So now that we know what to do with our hands and our mind, let's meditate. The moment you have a specific question about Buddhist mindfulness, meditation, or philosophy, simply type your question in great detail in the chat window. We come now to our 2nd to 4 phases of mindful crease counting. So this consists of our right hand's 12 repetitions and our left hand's 12 sets. Over the span of 12 inhalations, we can advance our right thumb thusly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 repetitions. We can multiply this by 12 using our trusty left hand to count not repetitions but sets. 1, 2, 3 sets of 12 repetitions. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 sets of 12 repetitions. Whoops, let's try this again. So I mentioned that this is our second collection. We keep track of that by resting the great knuckle at the base of our right ring finger upon the tip of our left ring finger in our lap, palms up. Thus inviting our subtle energies to coalesce in the navel region of our mid-abdomen. So I would like to share with you the first of 4 benefits of regularly training in mindfulness and meditation, perhaps once every 12 hours or so. Every time we silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during our inhalation, we cannot help but notice vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly mind's antics of perception, emotion, intention, cognition, recollection, and imagination. How are we to deal with all these things that we notice? Through meditation. The most efficient way to do so is to silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease during each exhalation. So when we do that, what we perceived during our previous inhalation could feel fleetingly less permanent. Consider this. With the changing of the seasons, we see the impermanence of a year. With the waxing and the waning of the moon, we see the impermanence of a month. With the rising and the setting of the sun, we see the impermanence of a day. With the swelling and the sinking of our chest, we feel the impermanence of a breath. Ever changing, one and all, there is nothing permanent to grasp. And we acknowledge this viscerally, simply through the act of noticing and releasing in harmony with our inhalation and our exhalation. Remember, emptiness is just a metaphor. When we relax into our exhalation, whatever we noticed during our previous inhalation could begin to feel as if it was as non-graspable as a vast empty void. And what is a real-world example of a non-graspable vast empty void? How about the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, which, although could be tantalizing to the eye, is non-graspable to the hand. So there you have it. What is the first benefit of regularly training in mindfulness and meditation? The spontaneous and effortless realization of impermanence that supports letting go. Let's meditate. We have come to our third of 4 phases of mindful crease counting. We will enumerate or keep track of our right hand's 8 repetitions and our left hand's 8 sets. Here's how that could work. Over the span of 8 inhalations, we could advance our right thumb thusly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We could multiply that by 8 on our left hand, counting not repetitions but sets of repetitions. 1, 2 sets of 8 repetitions. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sets of 8 repetitions. We keep track of this, our third collection of 64 repetitions, by working with our middle fingers. We could rest the great knuckle at the base of our right and middle finger upon the tip of our left and middle finger, palms up in our lap, thus inviting our subtle energies to gently coalesce in the heart region of our chest. I would like to explore with you the third and 4 benefits of regularly training in mindfulness and meditation, perhaps once every 12 hours or so. Remember, the key to mindfulness is to silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during each inhalation, thus facilitating perception. And the key to meditation is to silently and mentally recite the 1-syllable verb ease during each exhalation, thus facilitating release. The second benefit is that it can calm the aggression and anxiety of our amygdala. The third benefit is that it can stimulate our anterior cingulate gyrus, which functions as the hub of our mirror neurons, the seat of empathy, the root of compassion and love. Why is this important? Because loving kindness comprises 50% of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. Kind intention, kind communication, kind conduct, and kind commerce, transcending our inner Chad and our inner Karen. This is exactly why the late Tulku Thondup insisted that the highest love is not the product of contrived focus and analysis, but rather the opposite. The highest love is the spontaneous and uncontrived fringe benefit of our training in mindfulness and meditation. So together as a team, let's meditate right now. And remember, the moment you have a specific question about Buddhist philosophy, Buddhist meditation, Buddhist mindfulness, simply type your question in great detail in the chat window. Welcome to the fourth and final phase of this morning's live stream, where we mindfully count our creases. How does that work? We're going to, on our right hand, we're going to count 12 repetitions, and on our left hand, we're going to count 12 sets. Now, that can seem a bit weird, so allow me to show you how that works. On our right hand, over the span of 12 inhalations, we could advance our thumb thusly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. To multiply that by 12, we rely upon our left hand, not to count repetitions, but to count sets. 1, 2, 3 sets of 12 repetitions. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 sets of 12 repetitions. Now, you could recall that I mentioned this is our fourth collection. We keep track of that fourth collection by exploiting our index fingers, chiefly by resting the great knuckle at the base of our right index finger upon the tip of our left index finger, palms up in our lap, thus inviting our subtle energies to coalesce at the crown region of our head. Now that we know what to do with our hands, let us explore what to do with our minds. For we explored a more detailed explanation of mindfulness and meditation at the very beginning of this morning's live stream. But here's a concise version. The most efficient way to practice mindfulness, what many lamas describe as noticing the antics of mind, is to silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during each inhalation. The most efficient way to relax into mind's empty nature is to silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease during each exhalation. I would like now to explore the fourth benefit of training in mindfulness and meditation about once every 12 hours or so. And that is that we begin to notice that our choices and our utterances and our deeds begin to flow from the effortless effort of love's centered spontaneity, not scattered spontaneity, but centered spontaneity. This is the sixth fold of the Buddha's eightfold path. The great irony is that through regular practice of mindfulness, the seventh fold, and meditation, the eighth fold, the remaining six folds of the Buddha's path take care of themselves. So together as a team, let us practice right now. And remember, the moment you have a specific question about Buddhist mindfulness, Buddhist meditation, or Buddhist philosophy, simply type your question in great detail in the chat window. Here is the essence of meditation. Whatever comes, glorious or grotesque, we allow it to come. Whatever stays, pleasurable or painful, we allow it to stay. Whatever goes, delightful or disgusting, we allow it to go. May we joyfully relax into the perfect imperfections of our Buddha nature. If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. In approximately 2¼ hours, if I have the stamina, I would very much like to lead today's mid-morning meditation class. If not, I will happily return in, 9¼ hours for this evening's meditation class. And if you are as geeky as me, may the force be with you always.